I take care of everyone, but who's taking care of me? I wrote the topic up of what I wanted to cover, and a day later, I get this email. And I'm like, wow, like cosmic whatever. Okay, so here's the mailbag, and so I'm going to go through. It's a long letter, but it exactly brings over that point that we're saying, which is, who's going to take care of me? Ready? Dear Leah, my husband and I have been married for 9 years, Baruch Hashem, and we are blessed with 2 boys. And our relationship, blessed with 2 boys. Our relationship hasn't always been smooth and easy. Now, my husband is trying to open his own business, and he's working really hard for that. He came with new objectives for himself and for his life, trying to be a better person, a better chassid, a better Jew, etc. The whole idea of wanting to open a business made him want to aspire to be better. I should be thrilled, happy, and so excited, but I'm not. Is the letter, okay? He is trying to be better, and he is doing everything to reach his objectives, and nothing can stop him, not even the fact that he has a family, or not even the fact that he's getting so nervous with every new crazy schedule that comes his way that he doesn't even have time to, or desire to spend time with me. It's painful, obviously. She didn't say that, but it's not so easy. Or just the fact that he is so overwhelmed that he's always stressed out. 100% of his time he's always nervous now. He is becoming disrespectful by asking me to do very basic things for him, like to reheat a meal or to make sure that he has something to eat the minute he comes home. Another example is he doesn't want me to shut down his stupid alarm that's making a terrible noise at 6 a.m. in the morning because he needs to wake up. Or to make sure that I'm sleeping on the correct side of the bed because he needs to be close to his alarm to be able to wake up. I guess if she sleeps on the other side, he gets all upset. And if he's not sleeping on his side, he doesn't wake up, and of course that's my fault. I don't know how to make him understand that just because he's trying to be a better person, that I need to be his victim and to carry everything he wants me to do for him. I don't disagree with the fact that he needs a lot of support because it's the first time in his life that he's feeling accomplished and like he's proud of himself, but there are just certain things that we don't ask, that we don't demand of another person, especially not by being aggressive and impatient. Anyway, I don't know if this relationship is going somewhere with this attitude. I hope you can help.
Okay, that last line is very scary. Not that I hope you can help.
The what?
I don't know where this relationship is going.
With this attitude. Yeah.
I thought the fact that she's calling herself the victim is a really
The
poor
fact that-
sign.
I mean, how many years have they been married?
9.
And this is the first time he's feeling accomplished and wants to do something for himself and being impatient with her, and now, that's scary stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. What are your thoughts? What should I tell this lady? Actually, I texted her. If I turn my phone on and then it rings, I emailed her back and asked her. I asked her what her relationship with her parents was. Should I get that now?
Yeah. You're like, let me see. Let me see what I did that.
Whatever. Oh, meanwhile, let's take Gabby's question. What's her question? Oh yeah, it'll be on my. Oh yeah, I don't have to turn my thing on to look at. Oh yeah, do I have to? I don't know. Okay, wait. This is a bad show. Hold on a second. Ask Gabby's question.
Yeah, I'll tell you actually what Gabby said while you look that up. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So Gabriella was saying that with letting go of a gripe, she wrote in, and Gabriella, we love you because we love when our listeners respond and interact with us. She said, I did actually let go of a gripe. She said, normally anytime she goes out to a ladies' event, she comes back and the kids are asleep in her room. But this past week when she went out...
Okay.
Okay.
Again. I just had to get... Okay.
Anytime she goes out to a ladies' event, when she comes back, her kids are asleep in her room. And she said this past week... she just let it go.
She doesn't want them to sleep in her room?
No, obviously not. She wants them
put her husband puts them to bed there?
Right, to her husband, it's easier, obviously, instead of putting up a fight and sitting with the whole routine. Oh, you'll sleep in mommy's bed. Oh, every kid is thrilled, and the kids go and sleep much quicker. That's what I'm assuming.
she
but I
comes
know
back from the
That's how it
thing.
is in my house.
Okay.
So when she comes back, now she has to start the whole getting them out and transporting them and transferring and so on and so forth, which is an extra.
And it's also exhausting.
It's exhausting. Why not? You just, if it takes a few more minutes, but do it the right way. Put them in their bed and, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And it's an extra, but it's a gripe that this week when she went out, when she came home, she just let it go. And she laughed about it and let it go.
Wow.
Let it go. We would sing to you.
Wow. Really?
You deserve a medal. Yes.
I was going to go into a whole thing of how she could talk to this guy. No, I'm joking.
She should have been like, that's
First
They're
of
all
all,
sleeping in your side of the bed.
That's right.
and
That's
you're sleeping with them.
fantastic. Maybe if she can write in, answer the question. So, have you ever discussed this with him? In a nice way, not in a, why did you let them sleep in there? No. Have you ever tried to communicate with him in a way that was soft and sweet and like, okay, I'll deal with it if I have to, but if there's any way possible or whatever, have you ever tried that?
Okay, Gabriella, let us know if you ever tried to communicate this issue with your husband.
Yeah. So, okay.
Okay. And we're going to pause. Yeah,
we're being a ping pong match
we love
today.
this. We could totally keep tabs on this. We're going back to
We'll go back to the student. So the issue. So I just wanted to find out what her family of origin, and she said her mom was a stay-at-home mom or whatever, and I think she's a stay-at-home mom. I forgot to ask her that. But the issue with this, in terms of, there's a couple of issues here, right? One issue is that she doesn't feel like a full partner. He's like disappeared. He's decided to open this business. My question for her would be, if she discussed starting the business with him or she didn't. If he did this, that I'm starting a business and she had no say on it, that's very different than them sitting down and saying, listen, we want more money in our house, or we want more control, or we want me to be at home more, or whatever it is, whatever the issues are that made him want to start his own business. And he discussed them with her, and she said, yeah, I think it's a great idea. And he said, it might mean that I'm going to be a lot more stressed out. Are you up for that? And then she'd be like, ooh, really? No, I'm not up for that, or I am up for that, or something, So, but it's a whole different conversation than if she is, like you said, feels like the victim to his decision making. And if that's the case, then, and he just did it without her, then there's a different dynamic. And then, that's an issue with their marriage in the first place, that he would do something without talking with her. So my advice to her would be, tell him, listen, it's a fait accompli. This is already done. But just so you know, if you had asked me, would I sign up for being the support person for this, I guess I probably would have said yes, because I want you to be happy and if this is what you want to do with your life. But I would have liked to have been consulted. So now everything that you're doing feels a little bit like, I feel like I'm resenting it a little bit. So, yeah,
when
sure.
You're done?
Yeah, no, you can go ahead.
Okay. Also, I think that we should feel grateful when our husbands are ambitious. That they're not doing it as a hobby. They're doing it with the family in mind. They're doing it because they want to provide, and there should be more of a thankfulness and a gratefulness. There's so many people that just that get too comfortable, doing other things or sitting on the couch. You hear about all these stories.
He's finally doing something good for himself.
Right.
And it also bothers me, and again, I don't know her full situation, but a little bit it's bothering me, the stuff that she's picking. Like, she's saying he wants me to have his dinner warmed up when he walks in. He's bothered when I sleep on his side of the bed next to the alarm so he can't get to it, or he's bothered if I shut it off. If the alarm goes off and you wake up from it, hey, honey, the alarm is on, it's time to get up. Encourage him. He wants his dinner when he comes home. He's hungry. He's had a full day. Mm-hmm. Most husbands want their dinner when they come home. It just so like, it sounds like her examples of what he's asking of her are just normal wife and husband
Interaction
stuff. I mean, it sounds like she has a lot more. There's something that's there. I mean, I know that when we were married for about 2-3 years, and my husband started a new business, and I was miserable in LA. I wanted to go back to Brooklyn. I come from a family of 8. I had my whole life was there, and you don't take the Brooklyn out of a girl. You can take the girl out of Brooklyn, but I was like, what? Brooklyn is the world. What does that mean? Who lives in LA? Everything is slow. I want to go back, and so. He started.
Don't even think about it, by the way.
Yeah, no, by the way, you should just know. Now, when he wanted us to move, I'm like, what? Leave LA? Who leaves LA? So it's been the biggest blessing. But at that point, I was newly married, and I wanted to be with my family, et cetera, my friends. And but he was starting this business, and I was so not signed up for it. I'm going, because all it was in my mind, we're going to stay here. He's now sort of planting roots, and we're not going to ever go. And I made him miserable. I was just like, every time he came home, I was just unhappy.
In LA, you're saying, when you got here.
Of course. Every time he came home, I was unhappy, and and everything was an issue, and I was miserable, so I made him miserable. Wow. And then he basically asked his rabbi and his mentor and said, could you please talk to my wife? And he said to me, do you mind just talking to my rabbi and at least expressing yourself? And if he says that we should leave, we will leave.
Wow.
And he really
put a new business.
Yeah, new business. And I called up his rabbi, and his rabbi was talking to me, and he said, I hear you that you're miserable and you want to be with your family and you want to be with your friends and da-da and this. So he says, but can I ask you a question? Do you have anything that you're going to offer him in New York? And I said, no. Is there a business for him in New York? No. Is there other options? Not really. I don't know. Maybe there will be. He's smart. He probably will find something, but I don't have anything right now. Is this an opportunity for him? Yes. Is this going to build him up and make him feel accomplished? Yes. Is this going to make him feel like a man that could provide for you and can take care of you? Yes. So he said, yes, it's going to be stressful for the first whatever it is, year or two as it's starting. But is this something that's going to be a positive for him and you? Yes. And he said, can you see yourself moving? Because if you say you don't want to stay here, I'm going to tell him and you'll move back. But can you then live with yourself in your marriage knowing that you never gave him this chance to see what he can do? That you never gave him a chance to see what he can be? And so that in the back of his mind, no matter what he does in New York, he's always going to feel, I could have, I should have, I could have been. Right. And when he said that to me, it was like such a like in my face revelation. I said, no, I can't do that to him because I don't have anything to offer him. And the truth is, this may be amazing for him. And thank God, it was the biggest blessing. But I had to sort of, let go of it was all about me. Right. And it was not about him. It sounds like her husband is, and she's admitting it, that he's finally feeling accomplished.
Yeah, that's what he said.
And good. And he's waking up early and he's doing things. Who knows how many years he's been feeling low and unhappy. And he probably was treating her not the right way because he was feeling low and unhappy. And so he got into some sort of cycle, right. And now he wants his supportive wife like a cheerleader cheering for him. So that's
I sort of feel for her where she's holding, but I also feel like if she can step up to the mat, what a husband she can have.
Yes, what a husband she can have, and I'm telling you from experience, she can have that husband, and she will see the blessing because they have to feel a man has to feel his work is who he is. I always tell it to my husband, you're not your job, but they really are. If they're successful.
Yeah, no, it's very different for a woman and a man.
Totally
a woman can be as accomplished as, but for her, a lot. This is going to sound very sexist what I'm saying, but this is just what we know from the Torah, that a woman, what's most crucial, the central thing of her life are her relationships. And not that a husband thinks that a wife isn't his central thing in his life, it is, but his whole identity and his prestige and his sense of self is determined many times by his work.
Okay. Okay. By the way, Gabriella did continue the thread. So she said, haha, you're funny. She says, so my oldest son just loves coming to our room in the middle of the night. I kind of got used to it. My husband doesn't mind because he loves spending that extra time with them. And I get it, so I just let it go. She said, by the way, I do not transfer the kids to their room. Smiley face.
Oh, they just stay there.
So it's not about transferring, but she probably wants to have her own bed and not share it with the little chipmunks.
Wow.
But I guess for her, it's about that if they start off, since at some point they may come into her room, if they start off in their room, it's just a better all around. At least she has a couple of hours of sleep, uninterrupted sleep, because it's never fun when the kids come in.
How old are these kids? What did she say? How old?
I don't know. She didn't write. Gabriella, let us know how old your kids are. I know my kids. Please. I know my daughter. Literally, my daughter is turning 16 in December, and on Friday night she calls me from upstairs and she goes, "Ma, you going to bed?" And I said, "Yeah, I think so. I'm done. I cleaned up. I'm ready." She's like, "Okay, could you go to bed?" And I'm like, "She wants me to go to bed?" Like, right, really? So I come upstairs and she literally she wanted to come into my bed with me and just talk and cuddle. And I'm like, yes, I will take you.
Yeah,
you know?
teenager?
Yeah,
What are you
teenager,
doing?
You want to cuddle with me? Yes, I will go to bed for an hour.
Wow,
But it was. I think even at any age, kids sometimes they
just want that
they
bonding.
want that comfort.
Bonding.
So
yeah. So very good.
Oh, so she said her kids are 6 and 3. So her oldest is 6. He's a baby.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
He's
babies.
a baby.
They're baby, but also fantastic for you. The fact that you let that go and that you just. So here's the lesson that all of us can learn. It's Gabriella. What is it? Gabriella. Here's the thing we can learn from Gabriella is the fact that there are long-standing gripes that we've had over and over and over again that can go on for years. And we just clash and clash and clash and clash again and again for no good reason. And she was able to overcome it. Yeah. So it's very, very powerful. Good on ya, as they say.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
So let's get back to
the medal. The
medal. Really, you get the gold star for today. Okay, so fine. I'm going to go. We're talking. I take care of everyone, but who takes care of me? And I want to cover what our sources are for this, because what we're going to look at today is what does it mean to be taken care of? Everyone wants to be taken care of. Raise your hand. Everybody wants to be taken care of. They want to have that feeling that, they're doing this, they're taking care of that, they're taking care of this, and they are being taken care of. The problem is nobody has a very good plan for doing this. And as women, we are juggling so much that we have to have a plan. We have to think of a way in our lives to have a plan. We got to solve this. It's by itself, this ain't happening. It's not going to happen by itself. If we want to be taken care of, we have to have a plan. So what does that look like? So we're going to make a self-care plan. That's what this class is about, is how to make a plan, how to execute a plan, and how to become the people that are, to solve this once and for all in our lives. Our sources for this, the Rambam writes that a woman needs to go out and visit her family and do chesed, acts of kindness, with her friends and relatives. They will in turn reciprocate and come to her. So a good portion of our plan of self-care is going to be taking care of others and connecting with others. The Mishnah tells us to acquire for yourself a friend. The commentaries say that a friend is so important that even if one has to buy a friend, the beginning of a friendship, he should do so. Rabbi Yehoshua says the proper path in life is to get a chaver tov, a good friend. That is how he will succeed in life. And the Chassid Yavetz also comments on Rabbi Yeshua's answer that's stating it also refers to being a good friend to others by advising and helping them. And our final source is, why do you think Hashem gave us money in the first place? To create shalom, because he values it more than anything. So all of the money that you have to get yourself a friend or to make peace in your life and to get yourself cared for. Now, some people are going to read, Leah is authorizing me to go get a massage and a spa. If that's what it takes, that's what it's going to be. The main issue here is that start off with your self-care plan starts with your husband. So for your relationship with your husband, there's 3 crucial things to keep in mind. Number 1 is to give him the space he needs to do the stuff he needs to get done, and then he'll have the space in his mind to be able to take care of you. So a lot of women, I see this very frequently, and that the husband comes in the door, or they get in the car, they're just, they just don't give that just a little space, enough space there so that the husband can take care of them, that he can be present. If you're jumping on somebody, then the minute, you're jumping on, well, what did you mean? I think this and other. If you're doing that, it doesn't give them the space to be there for you. And that's what we're after. Again, this is all by way of giving ourselves self-care. We're going to be taking care of ourselves by managing the logistics in our life in the maximum way so that we can get the care, we can organize our life to be taken care of. That's self-care. Self-care isn't just going to get our nails done or going to, good self-care. Don't letting somebody yell at you. That's self-care too. Self-care and what we're working on is setting up our life so that people can support us. Okay.
I'm just gonna cut in a second. Odeli, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Mm-hmm. Wants to comment for this woman who was struggling, and she feels, I love her comment, about this lady who's struggling with her husband. I will just say one thing. I don't think we need to feel miserable when something is happening, justifying this feeling by thinking of the future.
Just defined?
Meaning, she says, I don't think we need to feel miserable when something is happening, justifying this feeling by thinking, meaning that if the woman is feeling miserable right now and unhappy, we shouldn't be sitting there telling her, just think of how amazing this will be in 2, 3, 4 years or 10 years. You're feeling miserable now, and that should be dealt with and addressed. She said, life is about now, and everyone, especially in a marriage, should feel great at this special moment. And it's totally okay and even recommended to ask your husband to obviously correct what is happening, to make his wife feel that in good and feeling great about her relationship right now, and not maybe in 10 years if the business works out or something else like that. Her concept is, it's very nice that we're saying, okay, just let it go and be supportive, and regardless of how
meanwhile
he's
her
treating you.
daily life stinks.
Correct.
Yeah, I got it.
And
Thank
think
you.
of the
Tell her.
yes.
Thank you very much
yes,
for writing.
very, very, very important. We love that comment because
it's very true. But I will say, some of the things in that lady who is having challenges, some of the things I think she has incorrect expectations about what to expect from her husband. I'm not saying, I don't know whether she works or she doesn't work. If she works, then maybe some of the household chores could be divvied up a little bit differently. If she didn't work and she's just with the kids, or she's just a stay-at-home person or a stay-at-home mom or whatever, that also alters it. But if one of your kids was, let's say they were a grown teenager living in the house, they're 5 years old, and they turned to you and said, oh, Mom, so much is going on with my new business that I'm creating. It's so stressful. It's so frustrating. I'm sorry I'm so stressed out. I hope I don't take it out on you. But is it too much to ask? Can you heat me something? Like, is there leftovers in the fridge? You'd be like, oh, yeah, sure, honey. Right. Whereas with her husband, it sounds like she's like, what happened to his legs? Can he walk over there and get his own heated food? Hello?
Right.
He's, So it's very crucial for a woman to understand that, again, depending, maybe she's the vice president of a bank and she's coming home, she's working 70 hours a week. I don't know. My sense from what she said is that she's a stay-at-home mom, but even if she's working and every bit, it's still an act of kindness to heat your husband's meal. And I'm not sure I even understood the part about the alarm.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know why she wouldn't want to. Of course, I'd want my husband on his side of the bed next to the alarm. I wouldn't want to be there and have to shut it off or do whatever. And
well, it sounds to me like, from what I'm understanding, is that his alarm goes off. It happens in my house also. His alarm goes off and men don't hear it for some reason.
Oh,
and his alarm goes off and it's just going off and going off, going off and going off. He's not shutting it off. When she is next to the alarm, she will turn it off.
Why doesn't she make friends with this other girl? Have the kids sleep in her bed. They can shut the alarm off, okay?
Yeah, Gabriella,
All right,
we're going to set you up with this struggling lady.
Yeah, that's right. And they will. Very good. But the issue we have to look at here is the fact that she, there's things that you do for a person. If her needs for love, care, and attention were met, this stuff wouldn't matter. And so that's where this commented from this other lady, thank you very much for commenting in, is she's right. You can't like, oh, okay, in 5 years I'll be happy. No, we have to think about now. The problem is, here's the problem. Men are not going to naturally come along and say, oh, it seems like with my new business, you need some more attention and you need some more care and love from me. Good luck with that. If you meet such a guy, come give us lessons, okay? But what it's going to be on your part is to, in a nicest, yummiest way you possibly can, is to solicit that attention. That's done through, what'd you say?
Yes,
Solicit.
that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
to-
it.
Well, prompt.
Right, right.
I caught you. No joke. You said don't say solicit.
It's
Prompt.
true,
Prompt.
it's true.
I was listening.
You put the wrong one in my mouth, so it's your fault. Never mind. Now, okay,
Prompt,
so
yeah,
prompt. Okay,
yeah,
so prompt
yeah,
is the
yeah.
fact that, were you going to say something?
No, I'm
Yeah,
listening.
yeah. So
But-
I always have this urge. I'm just going to do it. I just have
Yeah,
this
throw
urge.
it.
But that didn't really go very far. Okay, but the issue is that she has a power to capture her husband. He's a waiting, living audience. As you said, he's doing this for her. His whole thing of wanting to maximize his potential is for her and the family. So for her to kind of be a thorn in the side of his growth is just so sad. She has the power to empower him to be his best self. What were you going to say?
Right. So just as this is the first time that this opportunity came up for him, and he's ambitious and she should be grateful, this is really, they're partners, and this is the first time that the opportunity came up for her. And she's inexperienced, and it takes
You mean inexperienced to be being a
inexperience
support
to
system?
to be that kind of a partner. And sometimes if we're not, it's our job. We're partners. A husband and wife are partners, and sometimes we naturally, we naturally don't feel it
Yeah,
because life
yeah,
gets in the
yeah,
way.
yeah,
yeah. Right.
But we could draw it in, as you said,
Mm-hmm.
by asking questions. What did you do today, and what's it like to have your own business, and who did you contact today, and how we doing?
This is gorgeous.
And
Yeah. Imagine her time with him for dinner.
Because
she
he's not
prepares
gonna-
his dinner. How
Yeah.
valuable it could be for her to spend time with him and talk about
and
it.
it could be his quote fault too for not drawing her in because he's so preoccupied.
Right.
But she has the power to draw him in, like you said,
Right.
by asking him questions and being
then
interested.
Right, and then in turn, when they're sitting at the table and she get whatever, and he goes and talks, and she's pouring attention and love on him, guess what he's going to do? He's at least going to ask her, what did you do today? How was your day? What's going on with you? And she'll start to get that fulfillment that we desperately need.
And she'll feel like
And
a
she
partner
deserves,
when she
and
hears
she'll
all
feel
the
part of
answers
it.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, very excellent. Any other things? That was great. If they have more comments, let us know. Great comments today. Thank you for very much. If you're watching or listening, just type in below. Okay, fine. So we're back at our husband, getting supported by a husband. First thing is giving him space. The second thing is, in order to get him on board, is exactly what we're talking about now, which is move your lips. Talk to him. Tell him, listen, this is what's going on with me. I'm feeling stressed out because so-and-so started this new school and it's a lot of pressure on me and I've got to do 2 carpools. And, at work, my boss, they just switched out the vice president of the thing, and he's the boss of my boss. And oh my gosh, every day I go in, I don't know what I'm going to find. People aren't acting well. They're not behaving well. Open your mouth. Share what's going on in your life. If you're sitting there being snippy at your husband, he's just going to stay away. He's just going to oh my gosh, he's going to come in for an apple. You're going to say something sharp and he's going to go, I don't need the apple that badly, and he's going to turn around and go out the room. If you share your life with him, not dumping on him, very different dumping and sharing. You can tell they've got different letters in those words, okay? Sharing is just saying, listen, you don't have to fix it. You don't have to whatever. I'm just letting you know what's going on with me. Don't use it as an excuse to treat him badly, and then he will listen. If you're sharing with him and you're saying stuff to him that is making, that's like, oh, and, this happened and that happened, and then can you believe that happened? And he's starting to get anxiety because you're saying, he thinks it's his fault. You know, that is not what you want to do. You just want to share where you're coming from. Again, we use this example. You wake up in the morning, you're in a horrible mood. I hear rumors this can happen to people, okay? So you're in a horrible mood and you wake up, there's a choice to bond and connect, or there's a choice to push away. Pushing away would be, oh, how are you? Fine. Connecting would be, husband says, how are you? And you're like, I'm so sorry. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. I really did. I'm so sorry. Please don't take it personally. Now, you don't have to be lovey-dovey and cozy and, pretend and fake. You are who you are, but you're going to get a little space, which you obviously need that morning. Don't use this all the time, or your husband and your family is going to just think, what's the point? They want to engage with you. So, okay, so that's the second thing. And then the third issue is with your husband, you want to get the logistics good. So a lot of people get this wrong. They're trying to get supported by their husband. They're trying to get love from their husband. They're trying to make it work. But every day their husband walks through the door, the pot's boiling over, the phone's ringing, the doorbell's ringing, life is insane. I don't know why God created it this way, that when everyone gathers back at the house, it's just bedlam, but it just is. But we aren't a victim to that. We're very powerful. We can set up our logistics in our life much better. Whether that means we're making lunches the night before, or the day, that morning, whether it means instead of making lunches, we're buying prepackaged junk. Only joking. Only joking. Did I really come out of my mouth? No, but I'm saying, so there's some things, instead of, making hard-boiled eggs, which take a lot of effort for protein in a lunch, you put in a cheese snack. I'm making this stuff up, but I'm just saying we think about the logistics in our life to manage them for the best interactions, and so that our husband can support us and is in the mood to support us. Okay, that's our husband. We're going to go on to our friends. So and from the sources, we talk about making friends, and I unfortunately, I have a lot of people with issues with making friends. They may have a lot of acquaintances, but not necessarily close friends, and that might mean buying people gifts. That's what we learn from our sources, that if you want to get closer to somebody, give them things, buy their friendship, take them to places, and say, oh, it's on me. I'm going to take you to lunch. No, that's okay. Let's go halvesies. No, I'm taking you to lunch. That's how you get closer to people, we know from our Gemara. For people who do have friends, are you, there's a saying that if you have a friend and you're confiding in them and unloading on them and getting advice from them all the time, and it's not reciprocal, they're really your Rebbitzin. They're kind of like your mentor and your teacher rather than being your friend. On the other hand, if they're always the one complaining and fetching to you, and this happened and can that happen, whatever, you're their Rebbitzin or mentor or teacher. So a friend is where it's kind of equal. You might have somebody who's got a personality who's a listener more or a kvetcher more, okay? I fall into whatever category. I'm not saying, okay?
Listener,
yes, for sure. But, you want that to be a little bit balanced out. But in terms of friendships or whatever, there is a strange shift in our world today where people don't make friends as much. There's less opportunity to make friends, and people expect their husbands to fulfill all of those roles that 7 girlfriends used to fill. So I remember one time I was, this is maybe 10 years ago, I was having a problem with one of my kids, and I called my Auntie Florence, who's Kanai Nahar. She lived to 103, so she was ancient at this time. She must have been 96 or something, and I called her up, and I said, Aunt Florence, I said, so-and-so has this problem, and I don't know how to solve it, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. And, one of my kids, and she said, oh, well, listen, next time you're at bridge with your friends, just turn to them and ask them. They probably had similar problems, if they've got older kids or something like that. And I'm like, Aunt Florence, I don't do bridge with my friends. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Like, what? Maybe Mahjong. No, joking. That was just in a past era. So she said, oh, you don't do bridge? Oh, no, that's okay. Well, listen, next time you're at lunch with your girlfriends, so, turn to them and ask them what they think. And I'm like, Aunt Florence, I don't do lunch with my girlfriends. Since then it's changed a little bit, but exactly. Still. But it's not part of our daily life. It's not part. She didn't even know what to say. She was like, okay. Oh, okay. Like, I don't know if she was just, she felt shocked that I didn't have any friends. You know, like everybody else must have friends and I don't have friends. I do have friends, thank God. I've got very close people, but that's just not part of our life. But she was shocked, or that she was shocked that I admitted it openly, that I didn't do bridge and lunch and go out and make that a big priority in my life. So things have shifted. And the point I'm trying to make here is that, and that we learn from our sources, is that we desperately need that. We need that support system, and we're looking to our husbands for it, and then we're disappointed and we're mad at them, and they feel like they're not making us happy, and it's a disaster every way you look at it. So the main issue is when you're making a support system, good self-care is friends are good self-care. And another thing also, if you go to your husband and you say, you know, the principal called today and, put our son in time, whatever, what do they put them, suspend
Detention.
Detention. Put him in detention, and he said that he really needs to get his homework done every day. You know, your husband's going to say, wow, that's great. He should do that because, he should do his homework every day, and it'll teach him a lesson. Whereas your girlfriend's going to say, oh, the principal said that. You ought to get them fired. They start off with that. If you've got a good friend, they say, but you know what? Maybe they're right, or something like that.
Right,
But that initial reaction that you can get from a girlfriend, you ain't getting from a husband. So it's very important to have husbands to make that. To have husbands, to have friends that you can do that with. Okay.
I think that's the reality of today's day and age. That it used to be back in the day, women had harder physical work, the laundry by the river and all that type of stuff, but they had a lot more time.
You don't still do that?
Okay. They had more time together. They would take their laundry together and they'd be sitting for a few hours together talking, and then even later on they would get together for tea and like you said, mahjong and all these other things. Today women are working, and they have to be mothers, and they have to be there they're spread so thin.
Yeah.
That
True.
it's like who has time to really sit there
Connect. And maybe they're connecting through social media, or maybe they're connecting on the phone.
right,
or,
but
that's it's not the same thing.
It's not the same. It's not the same because
'Cause
in social media you see everyone's happy lives. You never see the you see
it's
all
true.
the non-realistic. Oh my God, they look like they're so happy, and why am I so miserable? You don't see the
you don't
emotion.
that
You don't
they're-
see
right,
life.
that's true.
Yeah.
The Rambam writes, this is the one we just did, a woman needs to go out and visit her family and do chesed with her friends and relatives. They will in turn reciprocate and come to her. So it's kind of like that. That's what's going to make the connections and the bonds and make you feel supported and make you feel cared for. We don't ask for help. I can do it. Independent, as we know here. Independence is king in this country. And so asking for help or turning to people like, oh, no.
Yeah.
And part of it probably also is they like, oh, if I ask a person for this, then they're going to turn around and they're going to ask me, and I'm not sure that I'm going to want to do it. So we don't get, the demands on us are lessened by that, but our lives are much, what's the opposite of richer? Unricher?
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. We're not, okay, fine. Okay, so the next couple of things is that social life. So a lot of people's social life revolves around the Shabbos table or going to shul or whatever. But the more things you can plug into your life, if it's a class, if it's a dance class, or walking with a friend, or going to, color me mine, painting pottery, something. Put something in your life where you've got a regular social, talking about nothing types of things, talking about recipes, talking about, it will help you with your life. We all know where you're sitting there and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what refrigerator to get. My old one's broken down. What do I do? And you're Googling it. Google can't tell you that, that model looks beautiful, but the door always leaks water dripping on the floor. You need friends for this kind of information, okay? So if you didn't know, just for your own logistic of managing your life, social life will give that to you, but it also gives you a support network so that when you're having challenges and your husband's working, like this lady, and her husband's starting this new business, and she's feeling very like she's looking perhaps for him for everything. I don't know what her social life is, so let's just assume it's something. But if she were to get more supported by her friends and her family, that might make a big difference. Okay, the last thing is hobbies. So there's controversy in the Jewish world. You should spend every minute learning Torah or whatever, but there's also something about that a person who is able to relax well will learn Torah better. and we'll be able to grow more. So these things that we did as kids, going to, the hobby store and getting art books and coloring things and clay and all that kind of stuff, do yourself a favor. Actually, that's going to be the homework for this week. Whatever the homework was, this is the new homework. To buy one little thing that you like, it'd be kind of fun to have a little bit of Play-Doh or a little bit of, modeling clay or silly putty well, that's not really a hobby. I guess that's just kind of an addiction. Speaking of which.
No, but those adult coloring books
The
now
adult
are
colors, they're
so
big. And they're so
so big.
fun,
They're so
whatever.
relaxing to sit
I
into
have
it.
a bunch of relatives who are in various adult care or assisted living. I have a lot of people in my family, older. I have a big family, and they're in assist. I send them like 5 adult coloring books and a whole kit that comes with it, whatever. And it's, and then I go and they're actually filled in, So, but anyway, I'm not saying to go to a nursing home. I'm just saying, if you are in a nursing home, I don't know, who knows. But I'm just saying, get yourself something this week fun to do. Something that you like put off, whatever, whether it's shrinky dinks, the thing. Go to the section where they have stuff for kids, and they have these like shrinky dinks, and you color them in, and then you heat them, and they turn little. They turn into these little keychains or whatever, or those perler beads. Something for yourself. This is self-care, and this kind of it allows your mind. When you're doing something, like some people say, I'm not a bridge player, but people who are say that they forget what day it is, what time it is, what where they are, all the troubles of their life. They're so engaged. Very, very crucial to our stress level and to our ability to feel like we are doing something for ourselves. And it could be an exercise class too. That's I can't emphasize that strongly enough. Right, it's a good hobby. Okay, so I'm giving you the Leah's secret of the day, and we're going to wrap up here. You need to have self-care plan to adequately take care of yourself. So everybody should, all the factors we looked at, you should make a self-care plan for yourself. And the homework for the week, so I had make a self-care plan for getting support from a friend, okay?
Yeah, no, but
You can
I like the hobby thing.
The hobby thing.
Easier
So,
to get a hobby than to acquire a friend.
Right, a friend, right. So maybe do a hobby with a friend. How's that?